Hey everyone, it's Melodian with Ninja Marketers and Smart About Stuff. And today, my guest on Success Stories is copywriter, editor, and self-proclaimed word nerd, Betty Withrow. Hey Betty, how you doing?
Oh, I'm doing great, Melodian. Thanks for having me here.
Awesome. So let's just get right to it.
Okay.
Why don't you tell us a little bit about you and your business?
All right. Well, as you said, I'm a word nerd and a language fiend from the get-go, and I love to write copy for entrepreneurs and their businesses so that I can further the entrepreneurial world. I'm a lifelong entrepreneur myself, started my first business when I was 16, and I love to write. So I found that this is the place of service that works for me.
So how did you get started? Not so much, because I know you've got this thing called the Writer's Launchpad. Why don't you tell us a little bit about that?
Okay, so the Writers Launchpad is a full service business that where provide author support and also, as I said, copy services. I write blogs, emails, articles, web copy. I do PowerPoints for people, and I also edit. At the Writers Launchpad, if you need a book coach or somebody to kind of ease you across the finish line, and like you've got a book and you're just really fed up with your book, would just like it to be done, please. I'm here for you. I understand that feeling, and I will make it so that you don't have to feel that way anymore. You can learn to love your book again.
So how did you make the jump from, I mean, writers, I love to write myself and I write for myself. Most of us that are writers do. How did you make the jump from basically writing for yourself to writing for other people?
It was an evolutionary process. I started in life coaching, and then when I found out what writing can do and really create a transformation in a person by writing out their stuff or working through their writer's block, as it's called, which is really life block. I went, this is my forte, and I need to lean more into that. Like I said, I've always been all about language, so Um, I just jumped into it. I edited a couple of books and then I had somebody ask me if I could write copy, and I found out that this is something I really love doing. So I've really been leaning into that one.
Awesome. So what does it take to, if I wanted to have you write my book or write my, how much of it do you actually do for me? Do I need to have like some kind of an outline or something? Or do I just say, Betty, I want a book on baking pizza, and I don't know. Do you just write it and put my name on it, or do I have to have some kind of an outline at least, or what?
Well, I do a certain amount of ghostwriting in support of a manuscript. It depends on what you want to do. I mean, I could do that if you gave me all the stuff that you wanted to say in your book. Because I won't know unless you tell me. Then we could work it out, and I could do that. But generally, it works best if at least the bare bones are there, so that we have a structure and things to work with.
So there you go, guys. For all of you that have, when I've mentioned how great having your own book is, and you look at me and go, "Well, I have an idea, but I'm not a writer." Take your idea, kind of put it into a little bit of an outline, I guess would be enough, and pack it off to Betty. She'll write your book for you. There you go. No more excuses. No more
Right.
excuses. Write your book.
Right. Yeah, that's it. I did write a book called The Essential Excuse Handbook because there are so many excuses not to do it. And then I felt like, well, let's make a compilation of that. So what makes me an expert? I've used them all or accepted them all from other people. So anyway, but yeah, I offer a free consultation if you have a writing project or content needs of any kind. Just get in touch with me, and we can see how it goes. You know,
Awesome.
find out what you need, and if I can do it for you, I will.
Great. Now you also have this wonderful group that is so much fun called Word Nerds. I love it. As soon as you told me the name, I was like, oh, I got to be part of that, because I love words. I love grammar. I am the self-proclaimed grammar Nazi. Everybody will tell you that. I'm beyond the grammar police. I'm like hardcore. So,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
so
Well,
I
we have a
love your group.
community now.
I know, and I love it. So tell us about Word Nerds.
Okay, so word nerds, what happened is 3 days in a row, people asked me if I had a Facebook group, including you. And I went, "Oh, okay, I guess I need to like get this together." And someone said, "Why don't you call it word nerds? Because that's what you call yourself." And I went, "Okay." And so I started inviting people and then they started inviting people and we just play and I do I try to put out a series of words, a kind of free association, and people play off of that. And we're getting contributions from people educating us about the language, and that kind of got me into, well, I think I'm going to look up some things and re-educate myself and put them in the group because people are telling me they like that.
I do like that, but I really love when you do the word associations because I particularly love to see where they lead. It's quite intriguing sometimes. You're reading what other people have commented on your words. It's like, how did they get
I
there?
know, I know.
What's the thought process?
Yeah, it's this higher mind stuff play, and I'm really loving that. Seeing how, where does that ping you, and what are you coming back with? And I will like just sit down. I have no idea what I'm going to write, and I start writing something, and I'm like, oh no, no, not that. And I erase it, and then all of a sudden I'm like, okay, here it is, and it just comes. So it's a fun thing to do. I'm loving it. I mean, it's kind of like, well, 2020 wasn't that much fun. I think we all know. So I went, we need some fun. So I started Word Nerds, and it was like the most fun I had all year.
Well, that's brightened my day, let me tell you.
Yeah, yeah.
I see you quite frequently on social media. I see you pretty much everywhere now. So what are some of the best tactics that you've used to actually build your audience and establish yourself online? Your group's doing really well from what I've seen, and you have another group too that I forgot to mention. And they both seem to be doing quite well. And like I said, I see you everywhere on social media. You get lots of engagement. So, what have you done? What tactics are you using to build your audience?
Well, I reach out to people personally for one thing, and I like to, I cruise my groups early in the morning and find things that people are saying and comment on them and build a dialogue with people on other groups and then invite them into mine for one thing. And I think it just comes to really talking to people and continuing to show up. I mean, the biggest thing is to show up and keep showing up. But also not only show up in my own space, but in other people's spaces. And I think we all know that not every space is a super friendly one. I mean, you say something or do something that you think is okay, and somebody else slaps you down for it. Well, I'm not going to do that in my group. And so I think people feel safe with me, which I love that. That's what I want people to feel. And I have lots of strong opinions, but not everybody needs to know them all, right? So
Come on now.
yeah, I know. Well, we could have private conversations about those things, right? Yeah. I don't really know if I don't think I have a secret touch or anything like that. I just get out there and play, and I think people enjoy that. I am not apparently taking things too seriously, although I do look at it as a serious matter. You have to be visible. You have to let people know who you are, or nobody knows. So, you know,
Well, I ask because I see so many people. I mean, let's face it, Facebook is all about groups right now. I mean,
yeah.
they're promoting groups hard time, big time
Hmm.
over their pages. So groups is what you want to have a group. If you're on Facebook and you're using Facebook for marketing, you need to have a group. But I'm seeing so many people that started their groups and they just kind of flounder and they're not going anywhere. And some of them have had their groups forever and they're just not doing anything. There's no engagement, there's no action, there's nothing. And you just
Right.
started yours and it's already a pretty big success. So anything that you could share to help these other people that are struggling to get a group going.
Yeah. I think you need to ask questions. When you ask people questions, then they answer you, or at least sometimes. And and they feel like you're giving them permission to say something. What I've learned about people who are running other groups is that sometimes people feel like, well, I don't really have a right to post in this group, even though they are in the group and that's what the group is all about. People are self-conscious about putting their own face on a post. So if you ask them questions, then they can kind of work up their nerve, and then eventually they may come in with something of their own to contribute. And another thing is, again, people are self-conscious, but one of the biggest groups I know, she was telling me that people weren't engaging unless she was talking about herself, and she was tired of talking about herself. And I said, well, that's too bad, because that's what people want to know about. you know so I think that's one of the things, is having a story of some kind is very helpful, and adding value, putting stuff out there that people need to know, that they might not know. Like if you know another amazing networking platform that people don't know about, get out there and promote it. Um, that kind of stuff.
So your word nerds is tons of fun, and I do check in there at least every day. I don't always post anything myself, but I do check in every day just because it's so much fun. But you have another group. Hey, some of us like language. I know. Most of the people in my family look at me like, what language, words?
Right.
But some of us really love it.
Yeah. Yeah.
But you have another group as well, which I also am part of, and I really enjoy. So let's talk about that, because I think that one might actually be of a little more use to my audience than the word nerds, to be honest.
Yeah.
Word nerds is fun, but your other group might be actually beneficial to them.
Yes, I think so. It's a pretty new group. It's called Self-Employed and Proud of It. And my idea for this group is to create a community of people giving each other value and resources. Today's question was, who's your ideal referral partner? So that if that person is there, then they can start contacting the person who, like, oh, my ideal referral partner is a so-and-so. If one of those is in the group, then they could connect and say, well, let's talk about that. Or, what's your biggest win? And I see it as a building a team of, there's some really amazing people in that group. I mean, serious magical geniuses in that group. So join and be in it, and and play with it, and get yourself out there. Say something in the group so that people know who you are and what you're about and what you're doing. On Mondays, I ask that question, what are you about? Who's your ideal peeps? And so, like, celebrate your wins, all of these things. It's for that.
Well, we've heard a ton lately about social media, and there was a I am on Twitter, and I admit I'm on Facebook. I don't always get Facebook. Facebook is not my platform. Okay, I freely admit it's not my platform. I'm on it just because you have to be. If you're in business, you have to be on Facebook, pretty much. But
Right.
Twitter and Pinterest are my platforms. It's where I have the biggest followings. It's where I actually understand it and make it work.
Well, good for you, because I tried being on Twitter and I was just like, I'm not really on Twitter.
Facebook, I'll teach you Twitter. How's that?
Yeah, I mean, really, you can't be good at everything. You're not supposed to be. So it's okay. You're great at Twitter. I'm not. Right?
But also Twitter is where the whole uproar started about all of these new platforms of Parlor and the other one, MeWe, and a couple other. Anyway,
Mm-hmm.
how has all the social media stuff? How has social media impacted your business?
Well, social media has been good for my business because I've met people on Facebook that I am now collaborating with, And I use the messenger tool all the time as a way to keep in touch with people. It's faster than email in a lot of cases, but each person has their own way. Don't message me, text me, don't call me, email me, who knows. So I have to ask each, or find out what each person wants. But social media has been a good way for me to get people to know what I'm about, and to keep in touch with my friends and my allies.
Sorry, the little guy jumped down. I got to grab him here before.
Oh yeah, yeah. Dogs are part of the interview these days. So fortunately, mine is being quiet at the moment.
People are used to me. I have 3 dogs, so keep talking. I'm going to go let him out.
Yeah. So as far as Melodian's question about how has social media helped my business. So I have 2 groups. I have a business page. Actually, I have 2 business pages because I have another business, which is my small fashion business, that is the Betty Go-Go page. So I have a writer's launchpad, a Betty Go-Go, a self-employed and proud of it, and a word nurse, and my profile. So I have like 5 things to look after, plus jumping into other people's groups. As you can imagine, there's plenty going on, and I'm not always keeping up with it, and that's okay. At some point you have to actually do your work. Right.
So how many platforms are you on?
I'm just Facebook and LinkedIn. No, that's basically where I hang out. I mean, I have an Instagram. I never do anything with it. I pretty much stick to Facebook because a large variety of people use it on a regular basis, including some of the networks that I interact with regularly. So I'm always on that.
I confess, I also don't get LinkedIn.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I'm not really active on it very much. I mean, occasionally I post on it. There's certain people who prefer to message you on LinkedIn. They look at my profile. They want to look at my profile. My profile looks pretty good. Okay, then we're talking somewhere else usually, except for a few people. So I don't quite understand LinkedIn either. I know people who are LinkedIn experts, and again, good. Let's have an expert. And I am not that person. I'm not an expert in LinkedIn.
Okay, so I have to ask, why Facebook and LinkedIn? And I know why Facebook, because yes, you have to be on Facebook. If you're in business,
Right.
You've got to be on Facebook. But why LinkedIn over any of the others, say Instagram? I know a lot of people that do Facebook and Instagram. It's kind of like a thing.
Yeah, I know. And well, I started on LinkedIn a number of years ago, and my profile has evolved as I've evolved. And there are certain people who just like, okay, well, let me go to your LinkedIn profile because they want to check you out. And so that's why I'm there, is to have that. It's like a digital, it's not really a business card, but it's a way to display my credentials and my experience and so on. So I can do things like list the different projects that I've been in, civic involvement, um, projects, yada yada. My LinkedIn is not really super complicated, but it's like, well, people expect you to have a LinkedIn profile, so I have one. It's kind of like that.
I guess I need to get, you're our second person that said people expect you to have a LinkedIn profile. We do have a LinkedIn expert in our little group, and she's telling me the same thing. People expect you to have a LinkedIn profile. So I guess I better get to it. Now that's 2 of you that have said that. So I guess I better get over there and get on LinkedIn.
Well, that's like you pushing me to start a Facebook group. And then the next thing I knew, I had 2 of them. But, it doesn't have to be complicated. It's just like if someone wants to look at it and refer to it, then it's there for them, I mean, mine has a few samples. What's that?
I said, I may be calling you for help.
Well, you're welcome to do that. That's fine. Yeah. I'm really enjoying getting to know you. So yeah, call on me. For whatever knowledge I have, I will share it with you.
LinkedIn knowledge. LinkedIn, like I said, I do have a page. I have not touched it in years. So, and I mean that seriously, It's been years. I'm not even sure I remember how to get on it now. So it could be interesting, but I hear that it's changed a lot. So we'll see. But everybody keeps telling me I need to do that. So you are the second person that I know well, that whose business advice I value, that tells me I need to be on LinkedIn. So
All right. Well then, sure, just give me a holler and I'll see if I can give you any input that works for you. Be happy to.
see, so now you've heard that I value her business advice. Okay, so since she gives such good advice and she's going to make me get on LinkedIn, Ruth will be so thrilled. But she's been trying forever to get me on there and I haven't gone yet. So what advice do you have for people who are basically, since you do so many things, let's break it down. So brand new authors, people that are trying to get their books out there and don't even know how to get started, what advice do you have for a brand new author?
To set a habit where excuse me, they commit 20 minutes a day to working on their outline or their project or doing a brain dump of some kind, and be consistent, build a habit out of it, because habit is stronger than will. And so once you have, like, find a time when your energy is changing from one state to another, and that's your time to mold into a new place. Now, everybody's got 20 minutes that they fiddle away every day that they don't really use. If you reclaim that 20 minutes and put it at the same time every day, after a while, your mind begins to look forward to that time. But when you do it, sit down at a space that is defining that moment and do something, even if it's just like moving the orange from one side of the desk to the other, that says, okay, we're starting now. And then after the 20 minutes is up, you can set your timer on your phone or whatever. After it's over, thank yourself for showing up for yourself and give yourself some minor reward of some kind. Doesn't matter what it is, drop a quarter in a jar, give yourself a piece of candy, something that's that makes you feel good, whatever it is. And get up and dance for 10 minutes just because. I mean, that one always works for me. And then after a while, it'll become easy, and because again, your mind and your body start to go, okay, we're doing this now at this time. This is how this moment goes. And you'd be surprised how much you can actually get done in that 20 minutes once you decide to make use of it. So there's that. And then really think about what you want your book to do. What do you want your book to do for you, for the people who read it, for the world, for your business? What is the point of your book? And don't judge that. Just say, what do I actually want this book to do? And sit with that. And after you have asked yourself that question a number of times, and write down the answer, after you've asked yourself that question for a while, the answers are going to change as you go through the writing process. And that's good, because that means that you're being creative. But the main thing is just get started. If you never start, it's never going to happen, So,
Now, next piece of advice for those that are trying to build their business online. What do you need? What do you got to tell them?
You mean on social media or online in general?
Well, like I said, I've seen you all over social media. You've got a really good social media presence. So let's just say, if I'm trying to build my social media presence, I'm trying to build my audience, what advice do you have for them?
I say join groups. I mean, there's this master networker who was saying that he was joining 5 groups a day. He had this rule, which I have to tell you, I haven't really been following it, but join 5 groups, post 5 times, comment 5 times. Now I do it differently. I find groups that I like, that are aligned with me in some way or other, and join them and participate. Participate and start your own group if you feel called to do that. But get out there and cruise and find everybody that is on social media. So friend them all and ask them what they're doing. It's all about community. That's why it's called social, is because ultimately that's the idea, at least, is that we're creating a community here. So you have to build your business, you have to let people know who you are and what you're about. Because everybody's got, well, not everybody, but most people have something that they want to sell. They want to get you involved in their program of some kind or other. But if they don't know you and they don't, that feel like they know you at least, and like you and feel like you're a trustworthy person, they're not going to be interested. They're not going to listen to you. So you have to get started by um, just showing up and adding value. Say stuff that cheers people up, give them pictures to look at, links to things that you find to be valuable is really good, because then you're contributing to everybody learning something. um, any kind of valuable content that you can add in your personal feed is going to make it so that people go, oh, okay, she's somebody I actually want to talk to. Like you're not showing them your lunch or another amazing picture of your dog. I mean, yes, amazing pictures of your dog, yes, do this, but not exclusively. Not exclusively.
I'm only
People
laughing
want
'cause
more
I
of
just
you than
posted.
the dog.
I'm just laughing because I just posted like 15 pictures of my dog today. So
Perfect. Yeah, see, and people love that. Every time I post a picture of my Chihuahua, people are like, "Oh my God!" But they need more than that. That's all I'm saying. They need they need the real you. Okay, the biggest thing is to show up and be the very best that you can of the real you, and because it shows and people will know.
I can hear you.
Whoops! Now speaking of dogs, I'm gonna have to get up and go grab the whiner. I'll be right back. Okay. So
No
here he
problem.
is. Don't just talk about me. Show me.
What a cutie.
Oh,
No
he's a cutie.
problem. Because anybody that's been listening to me for any length of time knows that number one, I am like the most technologically challenged person on God's green earth. So if anything can go wrong, it will go wrong. And I am also live in a house in the middle of nowhere with 3 dogs. So, when the deer come by or the squirrels come by or the raccoons come by, whatever, the dogs will sound off.
Uh-huh.
So I've had many, 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 many Zooms interrupted by dogs or dogs chasing cats or cats chasing dogs or you name it. So no
Right.
problem. Go get the dog. Okay.
Right.
People are used to it with me. We'll wait.
Oh, he's here. The dogs are part of the interview these days. I mean, it seems like anybody who has a dog or a child, eventually they're going to come in and say, "I need a hug," or something, right? So, yeah.
So if
But
we wanted to contact you for any of your services, how do we reach you?
you can reach me by emailing me at betty@thewriterslaunchpad.com. You can friend me on Facebook at Betty Withrow. You can join Self-Employed and Proud of It, or you can join Word Nerds, or you can visit my website, thewriterslaunchpad.com.
And I will post all these links. So don't worry if you can't remember them all. And do you have a mailing list of any kind?
I do. I have an opt-in on my website if you want to learn about my writing system, which is called the 3 Golden Apples. And if you put your name in there, you will start learning about the 3 Golden Apples. And it's a very easy way to create quality writing and content for your business based on the classic system of rhetoric that I learned early in life, and which, when I rediscovered the power of it, made me go, I need to be doing what I'm doing now. So yeah. Yeah, go to my website and sign in there, and you will get some valuable content.
Very good. Very, very cool. All right, guys. So you've met Betty. Absolutely no excuses now for not getting your book done, because she will do it for you if you don't want to do it for yourself. But if you do want to do a lot of it yourself, she will help you. So all of you people that have asked me how, that have wondered why I love my book so much, and have listened to me tell you what a difference it's made in my life and my business, because there's just something, it's like instant, it's instant authority when you can stand up there and go, I'm an author and here's my book. So
Yeah. Yeah,
now you have no,
that's right. That's one of the things that got me into it was I wrote my first book and I went, wow, that really it changed everything about the way I saw myself in the world to a huge degree. So yeah, do it.
and it changes the way everybody looks at you because everybody knows that only experts have their own books. So as
Yep.
soon as you have a book, you are instantly an expert in whatever it is. So
Yep. That's the
no
truth.
excuses. All right. Well, it's been good talking to you. I really appreciate it. I will post all the links to Betty's stuff so you can contact her. I can't wait to see. I know there's some people that'll be watching this that have been talking to me about books. So I'm excited to see if they get a hold of you, and I'll be waiting for books. I'll be watching because I know who you are. I'll be watching for your book.
If someone tells me that they came because of you, I'm certainly going to let you know. So don't worry about that.
That
Yeah.
would be awesome. That would be fun because yeah, that would be great because then I can encourage them because that really helped me a lot. Is I
Yeah.
had not so much a writing coach, but I had a friend who was an author, and she did. Whenever I had that moment where it's just like, okay, I am just stuck on this. I don't know. It's not making any sense. It's a piled, jumbled up, not cohesive at all piece of junk. And she would encourage me to no, step away, take a breather, come back
Right.
tomorrow, it'll look better.
Right.
So
Right.
yes,
Right. Yeah.
so that would be
Yeah.
awesome.
Teamwork is key because there comes that moment where you're just like, no, not this, but you're right in the middle of it. So yes, well, if someone shows up because of you, I will tell you, and we can show up together for that author. That would be great.
And guys, she's an editor, so let me tell you the value of having a good editor because a good editor can take your piled up, mismatched, jumbled up bunch of stuff and actually make it into a book. Okay.
Yes, yes, that's how it's done. So if I hadn't had a good editor for my first book, it would have been terrible because I mean, the editor came back to me and said things like, "What are you talking about?" Or "Can you give me an example, please?" And I thought everything was perfectly clear, and it wasn't.
Yes, I know.
So yeah,
I
that
owe my book to my I do owe my bestseller status to my editor because she took all of my words and made them into a book.
right? Yeah. Yep. Oh, super. Yeah. I love it. And thank you for having me on this. This has been really a blast, getting to know you a little bit better. Oh, and may I put on the awesome glasses that you gave me here?
Okay,
Let me
put on the
grab.
awesome glasses.
Here are the awesome glasses that have been such a hit on social media. I mean, I have like had so many people tell me that I look great. They love my glasses. They love my long hair and all this. And I'm like, okay. Uh, so thank you, Melodian, because it's been really a lot of fun watching people have fun with these glasses.
This is her new image for 2021, the long hair and the
Right.
glasses.
Right, exactly. Yeah, that's right. It's like rule number one, cheer up. So
All right,
anyway,
my dear.
but I can't see, it's getting dark. So
Yes, I
anyway,
know. Mine's a little dark too, but
yeah.
one of these days I'll get this office set up correctly so that I have all the fancy. No, probably not. I'm still not gonna have all that fancy video stuff because I wouldn't know what to do with it if I had it. So, but it might be a little bit lighter at least than it is. But you are the spotlight anyway, so I don't care if they can see my face because you are the one in the spotlight. So
Oh,
there we
well,
go. All righty. So it's been fun and I've gotten to know you a little bit better too. So that's awesome. And now I know who to come to for some things that I might need later. So that's good. And I really hope some of you folks listening will hook up with Betty because I think she's going to be a big help to all of you. So thanks for joining me and you have a great day. And
oh,
see you soon.
thanks for having me. It's been really fun. Have a good one yourself.
Bye-bye.
Bye.